Do you feel that you're a starseed? Have you heard this word starseed bandied around? And what actually is a starseed? But more than that, what does it mean to us as a human right now to be a starseed? So if you're interested in what a starseed is, does, and what it means, you're in the right place. Here's the podcast, Shifting Realities, with me, Julie, and my friend Rob.
Hi there, Julie.
So, Rob, when you've found out what a starseed, when you were sort of first thinking, I must be a
Yeah,
starseed, there's something more to this, this healing. I've been doing some healing for a while, but there just seems jigsaw pieces missing. I just feel there's just more to it. Um, what did it, when you were looking at what a starseed was, did you
yeah.
get anything from that at all?
Oh, yeah, all sorts of things. I got lots of boxes to tick.
Yes.
So I got, do you feel this? Are you this? Do you feel that? Therefore, I got 4 out of 6, therefore I'm a starseed. And then I got, this is what Pleiadian starseeds look like, or Pleiadians look like. This is what the Arcturians look like. And I have had glamorous lifestyle. I said to you earlier, people doing
Mm,
yoga in the surf and having a gorgeous life because they've discovered their starseed origins.
yeah.
So the true fact of that is, in fact, I've got nothing of any use
Yes.
really at all. The only place I've got anything of use is from myself and going within, back to the heart space
Absolutely. Mm,
and reflecting on it.
mm,
And I think it's very easy to work out if you may be starseed. And you can do a tick box, and we maybe will go through some traits
mhm,
now. They're not definitive,
mm,
but they might lean you in a direction. And I would say for me, feeling not quite part of humanity all my life has been the dominant one. I mean, yes, of course I'm a
amazing.
human, and as a starseed, I chose to be human right now. But when you feel slightly out of kilter with the human race,
Mm,
for me, that's a given sign that you have starseed origin and you could do some work there.
absolutely.
Because although we are all starseed, we carry starseed dust in our DNA. There's no way around that, all of us, good or
Mm,
bad.
mm,
There is the people that we would perhaps want to term starseeds now, if we need a term at all, have chosen to come to this 3D Earth school at this time in human development because we have skills and tools to help people evolve and raise their frequency. That's our function. We chose this.
mm.
And you and I are both doing that to the best of our ability. So that's my take on star seeds. I mean, it goes way, way deeper, and we'll go there. But
Yeah,
the shallow level is please don't start ticking boxes necessarily.
yeah,
Maybe don't get obsessed with indigo children and rainbow children and Blu-rays and whatever, because that's again just putting you in a sort of a file that's
yeah,
useful.
yeah. You're
Forget
going
all that.
off.
Just do you feel you come from somewhere else? Do you
Yeah,
connect to somewhere else? Do you look in the night sky like I do and look at particular constellations and go home?
yeah. You were telling me about
Yeah.
Scorpio, weren't you, Robbie? Your
Yeah,
real feeling
absolutely.
that you were this absolute inner feeling that you are from somewhere else. How was that for you?
Absolutely. It's really amazing. I mean, I don't know why, but even as a pretty small child, I would stand in the garden at night and just stare at Scorpio.
Mhm.
And I still do that now. And I was in Africa a couple of months ago and fabulous stars because no light pollution. And there was Scorpio right over my head, massive. And I just stood there and it was like, hello, beat me up, I'm ready. It was just so lovely. And it was only through doing the work that I realized that my original starseed origin, as it were, is avian,
Mhm.
and that the avian races come from a star cluster in Scorpio. And I knew that how only by going within and allowing the knowledge to come out because the
Mm.
knowledge was already there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
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 and for all I'm an avian, I would say that I'm an Arcturian starseed because that I feel is where I do the work. And it's important for people when they're doing starseed work not to home in on only one,
mm.
like, oh, I am a Pleiadian or I was a Pleiadian, however you want to use the grammar.
Mm.
Um, is better for me because there is no time here.
Yeah,
So you don't have to be just one. You could have been several over millennia and millennia of our time thinking, or you could be many of them right now, all at the same time.
Mm. Mm.
You just need to choose who you're going to work with best to do your work here. And for me, that's Ogchuren.
Mm.
So what about you, Julie? You
Yeah,
and your
well, actually, I'm gonna
Starseed.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say about you, Rob. So you saying that, for now it's Arcturian. What I feel in here is that is for now because it feels like, wow, does that actually mean there's more and more I need to learn from my Arcturian aspect of me?
yeah,
And this is where we start to understand all this terminology about being the multidimensional self, that, as Rob said, that we're not just this one, we're not just human on Earth. This is what you
yeah,
start to feel into as a star seed, that there is more to me. I'm sure there's other aspects, and we start to know that we've got a soul and we've got a higher self looking after us all. And then we understand that that soul is not just living in us as a human, but it's having many experiences. And just some of these are as star seeds. You might actually be having an experience as even higher beings, but I think at the moment, our higher self and our guides are just guiding us to go, here's the next level of you, here's the next level. So what I can see from here is like Rob's level is he needs to find out a bit more about who he was as an Arcturian, because there might be here more of his remembrance as an Arcturian of how he's come in and chosen to come to Earth, and what his personal unique mission is. So again, if you have, that's one of the other traits that we might have or I think we do have as a starseed, is you just have this inner urge to help people in whatever way,
mm-hmm.
and we'll live our lives trying to really go out of our way to help people. And you could say that's part of being a people pleaser, but also that's part of just who we are, because knowing, when you look into being a starseed more and you do the inner work, what you realize and find out is you might have been a commander on a spaceship, as I found out about me and some others, or you've lived a particular life and you chose to come to Earth right now, good, bad, right, or wrong, to help humanity. And our whole global mission, Rob and I, we talked about this earlier, how our whole global mission for Starseeds is to completely help humanity, all of humanity, raise its frequency, raise its vibration, and therefore raise its consciousness to move into more of the new Earth frequency, of 5D Earth, if you want to call it that. Sometimes it doesn't mean to say that we're not going to be on Earth as a 3D human, but it's more the feelings, the thoughts, that we are not trapped in just what's going on in the 3D, which is just part of the external world, the experience that you're living in right now. We're starting to break away and understand that we could live differently, and that's why we also talk about shifting realities. That's why we want to call our podcast Shifting Realities, and we're going to go more into that. But everything about us as starseeds helping humanity is to shift it away from the suffering and the and the victimhood that we're living now. So if you feel that is your calling, it's very likely that you have other lifetimes and other places that you'd call home. So for me, Rob, one of the biggest things I felt at the time when I was just discovering about star seeds, and I'm from another planet at the time, is that I never felt at home as well. It
Mm.
didn't matter where you lived, and I haven't lived in many places, but I just didn't feel comfortable. Like, this isn't home. There must be something else. Not realizing that there's home away from Earth. There's home on other planets. And
Yeah,
so, and also what I used to do is go, why was I born in East Yorkshire, where anybody in East Yorkshire will tell you the same, of this spell that we're binding into ourselves of, well, if you live in East Yorkshire, nobody wants to spend the money on healers. We just want an odd session and think that's it, even as a
Yeah.
massage, I get somebody coming once a year and that's it. And that's fine. No, nothing wrong with that, and
Yeah.
that's fine. And I used to think, oh, why couldn't I be born and live in Sedona, where there's this beautiful high
Yes.
level energy, or Egypt, where there's some, lovely energy around? Why East Yorkshire, for goodness sake? But as I worked within and worked into the mission and the purpose I individually have, I realized what I'm here for and what I've decided, and now I'm comfortable in, is to help heal the grid lines, help Yorkshire as a as a whole. And it wouldn't just be Yorkshire, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of work to do as Yorkshire, and particularly in the UK as well. The UK has been quite affected in the past of from some of the negative entities, let's say. Oh, we love everybody, so so we'll just go with that. But yes, and that's what I've actually been doing, working into some of the grids, even where I work. I'm working into the air grids there, finding out more and more about it. So I'm actually enjoying it, bring it on. And I realise now that I can just go to Sedona if I ever wanted, and do some work there. I can go to Sedona with my consciousness if I wanted. I don't have to
You sure
physically
can.
go somewhere to be somewhere, although it's nice as a human to have that 3D experience in other places. That's fine. But I realise now my place at this moment in time is East Yorkshire, because there's a lot of, there's been a lot of healing to do, in the town that I live in, and roundabout. So yeah, literally, this is where I found out that originally I was from Pluto. So this is the other thing. You'll get to say Starseed origins and think that's the where you originated from. Very, the one and only place was
Mhm.
Pluto. And that was a beautiful place. I saw how we looked after our children, and it was so beautiful. But now, sort of a few years later, I don't always really go back to there, and there's just so many other aspects. I think I might have found about, I think, if I counted them up, I've come to about 15 aspects of myself. So there's too many, too numerous to um, look at, myself, to talk about in here. Um, So you can see where me having that understanding and that acknowledgement now, and being comfortable in what I need to do living in East Yorkshire. You can see with me and Rob being comfortable in what we're doing as Starseeds, it's because we've also done work with the guides to really clear ourselves out, to move ourselves away from just being this human 3D victim. When we know that, when you start working as a star seed, it's almost like you can do things to look down on Earth as if you were a bird in the sky or something in the sky, look down on Earth and say, humans are in this kind of goldfish bowl of false karma, false matrix. And all we need to do in our own individual way and globally, as starseeds, is help humans move away from being asleep and being hypnotized into all the false programming, and really own the programming that was originally in the assigned to them, their original soul blueprint. So again, there's a global mission there for us all. Let's just go all back to sovereignty. So there's a little way to go, but yeah, that's what you get. So what you need to do with this is move away from, well, oh, I wonder if I was Palladian, I wonder if I was Arcturian, I wonder if I was part of Orion. That is good. That's what we love to find out when we do journeying with clients, whether that's group work or individual. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But what you need to understand there is then, what are you to do afterwards? You have to embody and embrace and acknowledge and accept, and give gratitude to that aspect of yourself. So just for instance, the other day I was working with a client and we had some, let's call them negative contracts to remove that would be affecting them from another galactic life. Well, actually, there was about 4 galactic lifetimes that we just were able to remove these negative contracts that would have affected her in this human life. But one of these aspects, as I was working through with the guides what to do, I knew I just needed to say, oh, there was one lifetime was Palladian. And then as soon as I said that, I regretted it, because as we finished the session, and I think as we emailed afterwards, what this client said was, I think I've got a book somewhere. I just need to go and, look up this book and find out what a Palladian looks like. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. That is not the point of it all. So you need, it is, stop avoiding that all that's doing is deflecting and avoiding. So
Yeah.
stop avoiding what you actually need to do. What that person needed to do was doing all the embodying. We've done a soul retrieval, if that's what you want to call it. We then need to embody that and absolutely accept that and love, love that aspect of ourselves, even if you were doing something naughty in another life, something bad in another life.
Yeah.
Because some of us we've found out some of us had, even if we're good souls in this life, there is no good and bad in terms of energy. We're just working through it to help ourselves heal. And so this is what a star seed is as well. One of the other traits I want to say is, you may have had, one of the most traumatic childhoods ever. You may have had a dysfunctional family. You may have had a most loving family, but has so much conditioning inside of them that you also had the old programming like them. You've been conditioned to work through the false programming. And so all it is as a star seed is to remember who we actually are. That
Yeah.
burning question, who am I? Who are you? You are source. Just having an experience in whatever lifetime, remembering we're multidimensional. So just having this experience, I always want to say the feeling I get is that source was bored and wanted to have these many aspects of itself, and just threw, almost like stardust, threw itself out into many living beings. And so just this human aspect of us is just this almost like a tiny aspect of source. But that means as a star seed, you're also source. Even if you're not a star seed, you're also source. And we talk about reaching back to source, reaching back to our
Yeah.
blueprint. Remember that we already are there. We're just in a timeline now where we're reaching back to that. But as a starseed, remember the power that you have, to be that superhuman being to start with. So help yourself clear to start with. So again, when me and Rob work with people and we go to the, whatever star, sort of constellation or star or planet they've been to, as I say, can't get over the fact how amazing and profound experience it is. Sometimes that's all it is, isn't it, Rob? Like you with
Yeah.
the avian, it's just that nice experience, isn't it? You've felt that.
Absolutely. I can go to my home planet as an avian,
Mm,
and I
mm,
can be with my family in a split second.
mm,
I've learnt about the planet, but I haven't had any learning from the planet or had any drive to bring that
mm.
back here.
Yeah.
A couple of principles of the life they live there, yes, I have. But in real terms, in terms of the work I want to do now, I know that's coming through the Arcturians,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they give me this amazing filter of clarity, which has allowed me to just cut through all the nonsense
Mm, mm.
in the world of spiritual development and just distill it down to, I hope, easy, digestible chunks for people.
Yes. Yeah.
So, all the woolliness around the work we do, and, all the fantasists who join our
Yeah.
tribes or try to join our tribe,
Mm,
I really have the ability with the Arcturians just to go, take that out. That doesn't work.
Mm.
It's not what I
Mm.
am here for. So I'm grateful for that kind of clarity. You know, the Arcturians are great scientists and great mathematicians,
Yes.
and absolutely nothing that I am in this 3D existence here. I have none of those skills at all. I have
Mm.
absolutely the reverse skills, but they allow me to think and they show me how to think,
Mm.
with compassion, but with clarity.
Yeah.
And it's very easy when you do this kind of spiritual work to get kind of involved in it and to
Mm.
overcomplicate it. We talk about this often, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then you sort of you lose the definition of it and the simplicity of it. And I do know that my drive to simplify it is Arcturian driven. I know that
Mm.
without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
but yeah, as you said, please don't go worrying about what did you look like or what do you look like as, you know, whichever particular tick box galactic
Yeah.
species you've chosen you were, because it doesn't matter, and
Mm.
also it probably is not true,
Mm.
because that's what the only way you can know that or experience that is how has the human interpreted that,
Yeah.
you know? And the Arcturians, when I first went to Arcturus, I remember dropping down into the planet and realizing where I was, and being slightly worried as I dropped down because there was no solidity there. There was nothing that matched my vibration. So their planet, or planets, um, in our thinking, are a combination of gas and liquid.
Mm.
And
Mm.
the Arcturians themselves are energy beings
Mm.
who exist in this and don't require a solid
Yeah.
um, surface to live on like we do. So trying to describe what an Arcturian looks like will absolutely not be anything like the pictures of Arcturians you'll see in a picture book
Mm.
or on a
Mm.
YouTube video, because those are humanized.
Mm. Those are
So
somebody's interpretation, aren't
yeah,
they?
so
Yeah.
it's really, it won't
Which
help
is
you at
not
all.
right or wrong. Which is not right or
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
It might be that you've seen them like that. That's it.
exactly.
Just
So because they
helps.
will
It just
appear a certain
helps.
way. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
yeah, but you know, don't obsess about that. Just obsess about who they are spiritually and in terms of the enormity of the cosmos. What is their role, and therefore what is your role, and why are you here now? What are you going to do with it?
Mm.
Because if you waste it, you waste it. You know, no one's going to smack you on the wrists when you go out of this life and say you didn't use your starseed origins properly. But it's a shame to waste it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's difficult because when we're born into this reality, there's a kind of memory wipe
Yes. That's it.
because we need to cope as 3D beings and not drift as some kind of galactic entity in this world. So you have to spend a lot of time relearning who you were. And it never goes away completely. It's here in your heart. You always reconnect to it with a bit of work.
Mm.
But it just, as we always say, it takes the work.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what we're finding is people are just avoiding doing the work. And don't get me wrong, I'm not. I will be in avoidance at certain times as well.
Yeah.
But as we work with clients, as they start to remember things, it really is about that you'll get information from the guide, you'll start getting downloads. And that's where you have this feeling that as well as you have this urge, this burning urge to help humanity, the guides are going, oh, thank goodness for that. She's remembered, he's
Mm.
remembered. Let's crack on. Let's get going. We're going to give you this download. You're
Yeah.
going to, share it with the world. And it could be, you can be a healer in many, many ways, many guises. It's not always just about let's put you in front of somebody on a couch and, do some healing there. There can be so many infinite ways of helping somebody else heal as well. And it might not necessarily be the way that you do your healing now. It can just grow and develop. And
Yeah.
that's again what it's all about is I don't feel I call myself a starseed in training because I don't think I'll ever come to completion of what, this infinite potential of healing could mean. So as well for me, I feel like my individual mission, part of this mission is to help somebody discover their starseed origins. And let's just say again that origins might not necessarily be this is the first place you went after being source, but it's the priority. It's where your higher self, where the guides want you to tune in to the priority, because that's the next level of you, the next version of you, when you actually jump into that quantum level of you, to honor and earn what that development means to you next. So for me, for instance, I feel like I am here to activate people into the remembering. And I've got light language now, and if I use light language, I can activate somebody else's light language if they are meant to be activated at that moment in time. But this is where you need to stop the victimhood as well. As a starseed, we are those powerful warriors, and so any time you're in any low frequency of doubting yourself about this, all it means is you just need to go in and just ask the question about it again and again. That's what me and Rob can help people with. But yeah, but
Well, everybody who's listened or watched so far, thank you. I hope you haven't noticed, or it's not been too obvious, but we've interrupted ourselves a couple of times in this episode, which is not something we do normally, is it, Jilly? We
not
normally
at
just
all.
get
We
on with
just
it and
crack
carry
on.
on. We were aware that we were going off topic,
Mm-hmm.
almost off our own belief system for a while.
Yes.
We weren't listening to ourselves talking. So what we did is took a final pause. We connected up to find out what was going on, and it was very evident to us that we were being the subject of interference,
Yes.
a kind of electronic interference, but basically there is a set of galactic starseeds out there, or galactic beings out there, that don't want this information out in quite such detail.
Yes.
But Julie and I are not having that, because we think that we are bigger than that, and
We
if we
are.
want to say this, we will say this. So what we've decided to do is end this episode now, and we hope that through all our ramblings, there's something in there that you can take away from it. But we're going to have a little go now at clearing this interference, because it's a really interesting lesson. And
It's
a bit of a gift almost, isn't it, Julie? Because, wow, here's something we can go and fix.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's this is what we get as Starseeds. At the same time, it was I'm frustrated that this
Yeah.
didn't come out
Yeah.
as we wanted, but also, wow, what an amazing gift, because yeah, there's something out there interfering with our mission and what we need to do. And so yeah, me and Rob, it's a lesson that we maybe should look at this first instead of just plowing into our podcast with thinking everything's hunky-dory, think we're just gonna give our mission out. In some ways we feel like, this is an important statement to make. So as Rob said, please, we're going to put this out,
Yeah.
to actually put this out on a podcast and YouTube and all the platforms, because in between the lines, please read through, because there is something for you if you need to listen to this podcast. But we're going to end it here, and we're then going to do some work on ourselves. We're going to go in and find out what's going on,
Yeah.
and clear that interference. So here we are on a recording, showing you what can happen when you starseed, and it's not all singing, doing yoga on desert island. Not for all of us anyway. For true starseed, yeah, we've got to work into what we need to clear. So we'll end this podcast here, and bye for now. We will see you next week.
Indeed. Bye now.